Hello sellers. What we are going to talk about today is how following eBay policies will help you maintain a healthy account to grow and manage a successful business. I am David Newman from our Seller Trust team. And with me today are two selling experts, Mallorie O'Cana and Jennifer Roberts from our Category Account Management organization. Mallorie and Jen are going to share the questions and advice they most frequently discuss with sellers on topics such as seller performance, seller protections, prohibited and restricted items, intellectual property, and eBay's Verified Rights Owner Program, also known by the acronym VeRO. But before we dive in, I'd like to remind our sellers, if they want more information, please feel free to drop questions in the chat and we will answer as many as we can. Of course, we won't be able to dive into account-specific questions, but we will capture those and follow up. So let's get started. Thanks for joining me today, Mallorie. Can you give our sellers a quick introduction to you and the work that you do at eBay?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me, David. Helping our sellers achieve a sustainable business is a true passion of mine, and that's why I've made eBay a career for the past 10 years. My name is Mallorie O'Cana, and I am a certified Refurbished account manager.
Mallorie, since you speak with our largest sellers every day, let's kick things off with your favorite advice for sellers.
I like to say that knowledge is power. The last thing that we ever want to do is see that our sellers are struggling. eBay wants our sellers to be successful, and we also want to make sure that we're providing the resources so that you can provide a great experience to your buyers. There are 3 things every seller can do to gain a competitive edge and build a positive track record of great performance. Creating a compelling listing is the first step to positive performance. That said, it all comes down to accurate and detailed information. This creates an informed buyer and will minimize that confusion down the road. And as a bonus, the more information that you have in your listing, the greater your visibility will be on our platform. Second, while you're setting up your listing, think about ways that you can stand out. Keeping your handling time short is one easy way to achieve this. Ideally, you should be shipping within 1 business day and have a standard or better service so that your buyers can get their items quickly. Third, make sure that you are tracking your items and uploading your tracking within that stated handling time. The most efficient way to do this is to actually take advantage of our eBay labels. When you use our eBay labels, the tracking is automatically added to that order and you're good to go. So again, a good listing is the first step to strong performance, and having accurate and detailed listings with quick fulfillment will lead to a happy buyer and will attribute to your success down the road.
I love how you broke it all down to 3 things, those being the listing, handling time, and tracking, all of which ensure you get the benefits that come with meeting eBay seller performance standards. As an aside, I hope all the sellers with us in this session caught yesterday's presentation on creating a perfect listing. Mallorie, let's dive a bit deeper into the listing itself and your comments about the importance of detailed information. I'd love to hear more about the specifics you encourage sellers to focus on the most.
There are 2 things that I would suggest focusing on while creating your listings. So let's start with photos. Photos come up often when we talk about intellectual property rights or VeRO, which is something that we're going to dive in here in a bit. As you know, a good quality image will help you stand out and attract buyers. So here are some tips that you can take advantage of while preparing your imagery. So make sure that your photos are high in resolution. 800 by 800 is the recommended, but 500 by 500 is the minimum. Your background should be white or transparent, and make sure that there's no clutter in the background. If you can't shoot off of anything white, we actually have a tool in the eBay app that will remove that background for you. Your item should also stand alone, so make sure that you're only including the product that is available for sale. This can lead to confusion and could also lead to performance issues as well. And you'll also want to think mobile first. More than half of our customers are shopping on the mobile app, and also our views are coming from the mobile app. So you'll want to make sure that your photos are clear and you also have close-up images so that you can really stand out. Lastly, make sure that you're showing it all. Photograph all angles, including those close-ups, and don't forget those blemishes because that will reduce your chances of a return. Listings with better photo quality are more likely to sell. And eBay allows you up to 12 free images, so make sure to use as many as you can. And by the way, if you haven't heard the announcement that Jamie made, we are going to increase that number to 24 in the future. So take full advantage of the 12 now, and when that change comes, make sure that you take advantage of that 24. Now that we've talked about photos, let's shift gears to titles, which is another important factor while creating your listing. So including valuable keywords and terms buyers would actually search for is key. You also want to maintain proper grammar and proper capitalization and follow eBay's proper title structure. Make sure your title includes information that will help your buyer make an informed purchase. For instance, if you're selling apparel, make sure you're including things like color and even size. Similarly, with electronics, you want to focus on noise canceling or even storage size. It's all going to depend on what you're selling. Begin your title with relevant keywords and be sure to take full advantage of that 80-character limit that eBay provides. Avoid any acronyms or special characters, and also make sure your title reads as brand, product, and then any attributes that follow. So let's look at a great example together. This is from apparel. So here we have a title that reads Lululemon Cashmere Sweater, Medium Blue, Men's V-neck, Long Sleeve. So as you can see within that example, the buyer can find exactly what they're shopping for, and it has all the details in that listing for that buyer to make an informed purchase. So if you can practice this and do really well, you're on your way to achieving great results on eBay.
Thanks, Mallorie. I really love the recommendation to think mobile first. That's really critical today. I'd love to shift gears now and dive into the specific topic of seller performance. Can you share with our audience the areas of performance you coach most often with sellers and the top things to focus on after the listing has sold?
Yes, I sure can. So once a seller has mastered the components of how to create an optimized listing and has gotten the hang of post-transaction care, I like to shift the topic to how you can go from being above standard to top rated. The top rated seller program was designed for sellers who are providing exceptional customer service. To become top rated, there are a handful of criteria that you do need to meet, but I'd like to cover the most critical. First, you'll want to take action on all of your cases and returns. As a part of our seller standards, we are tracking the number of cases closed without seller resolution. Second, you'll really want to make sure you're managing your inventory to avoid stockouts. To be top rated, your stockout rate plus your cases closed without seller resolution rate has to be under 0.5%. We call that your defect rate. And third, make sure that you're shipping your items on time based on the stated handling time that you've set within your listing. To be a top-rated seller, you have to upload tracking more than 95% of the time and ship on time more than 97% of the time. There will actually be a session tomorrow about attaining and maintaining top-rated, so make sure to check that out. We're also going to talk about Top Rated Plus within that session and how you can unlock a 10% discount on those final value fees and gain additional seller protection. Along with coaching our sellers on how they can achieve top rated, it's really important that we're also discussing inventory health.
Can you tell me more about what you mean when you say inventory health?
Yes, absolutely. When I say inventory health, it means staying on top of your item quantities and avoiding stockouts. It also means that you're identifying any items that might be resulting in increased returns or bad buying experiences. An easy way for you to do this is to actually take full advantage of the reports available in the seller dashboard and service metrics. These reports give you valuable insights into common trends that you will see within your returns. And again, it's going to easily spot those problematic products that you may have listed. These reports are also going to give you insights into where there may be gaps in performance. So for example, if you're not shipping on time or if you're not uploading your tracking on time.
So Mallorie, you referred moments ago to seller protections. I would love to now talk about some of the protections that eBay makes available to all of our sellers.
I'm glad you asked. So as a seller, we are going to protect you from all abusive buyers. So if you are experiencing an abusive or problematic buyer, the first step would be reporting them directly through our site. When a buyer is deemed abusive, we are proactively going in and removing any feedback and defects and seller performance defects related to the transaction, including any open cases within service metrics. We may also limit their ability to open up return requests on the site in the future. In serious cases of repeated abusive behavior, we may even suspend their account. You can help us by reporting those buyers and provide as much detail as you can. This will help us investigate potential policy issues so we can take action to protect you and our community. You can also expand your protections by providing a free 30-day return policy. This will enable you to take advantage of a refund deduction that covers used or damaged items up to 50% of the total item price. Beyond protections, this is also a great way to help you gain that competitive edge in conversion. We automatically protect you by adjusting any service metrics or defects that are outside of your control, such as a natural disaster or even a delay caused by storms.
We had a lot of that the last few holiday seasons.
I previously mentioned the importance of tracking, but as a seller, as long as you're uploading tracking showing that the item has been delivered, if the buyer opens up a claim saying it did not arrive, we'll be able to protect you. Our customer support team is always here to offer a lending hand, so if you have any questions around these protections, please don't hesitate to call.
This has been great, Mallorie. Any final favorite tips you have for sellers when it comes to the fundamentals of setting up a great listing, seller performance, or achieving top-rated status?
Along with everything that we discussed today, make sure that you're providing as much details as possible in the form of information about the product and the condition. Providing more information shows that you're taking your business seriously and also that you're a trustworthy seller. Lastly, remember to take advantage of the 30-day free returns policy that will unlock additional seller protections.
Awesome. Thank you again so much, Mallorie.
Thank you.
I'm joined next by Jen Roberts, who is another tenured leader on our category account management team. Thanks for joining me today, Jen. I'd love if we could start with you giving our sellers a quick introduction to you and the work you do here at eBay.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to be here, David. I have been advocating for our sellers and making sure that they are successful, and that is a big passion of mine. I've been with eBay for just over 9 years now. My name is Jen Roberts, and I'm an eBay Refurbished account manager.
Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Starting off, I'd love to have you share more about eBay Refurbished, since it is one of eBay's newest product categories, and it's one way that eBay is working to make it even easier for both buyers and sellers to raise the bar on trust and performance.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the many ways that we are trying to raise that bar. eBay Refurbished is all about helping buyers shop with confidence, knowing they can find a fully functional refurbished product with a clear understanding of the condition. Anyone can apply to join the program, but acceptance is really key on selling best practices with your performance, as well as having good criteria for refurbished conditions and refurbishment processes. Currently, eBay Refurbished is available in select categories ranging from electronics to home goods. And according to stringent criteria, we've got 4 conditions: excellent, very good, good, and certified. And it helps eliminate any gray area in purchasing for the buyer. So that's why we have 4 conditions. So this gives them clear expectations and reduces any potential issues with the sale.
Awesome.
Yeah, and as Mallorie mentioned, an accurately described and detailed listing informs the buyer on exactly what they are purchasing. For any of you sellers who are interested in learning more, you can look this up in the Seller Center by searching eBay Refurbished.
That has to be a ton of fun helping sellers grow their business in our new Seller Refurbished category.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun.
Let's turn next to one of the main topics of this session, which is eBay's Verified Rights Owner program, also known as VeRO. Can you share more information about the mission and purpose of VeRO?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I want to emphasize that we have your back and that we trust you. That said, there are laws related to intellectual property rights that we do have to follow. So VeRO protects the owners of intellectual property rights to ensure that eBay sellers' listings are not infringing upon those rights. Simply put, VeRO ensures property rights owners are respected. Sellers are responsible for ensuring that any item they list on eBay is authentic and that the listing description and title is not infringing upon those rights. So examples of items that could get flagged by VeRO include items that bear the rights owner's trademark, such as a logo being used without permission from that rights owner, and the same goes for description. So stay away from using any unauthorized images or trademark terms in the title or description, and any item image used should be an image that the seller took themselves versus something pulled from the manufacturer's website. And finally, selling unauthorized copies of media, audio, video will also get flagged by VeRO. So just ensure that they are authorized copies. And for sellers who are rights owners and you're concerned about your own intellectual property rights, please visit the Seller Center and search VeRO to figure out how to file a report.
Can you give us an example of what happens if your listing were to be removed based on a VeRO report?
Yeah. So if your listing was removed based on a VeRO report, eBay will inform you with the details about why your listing was reported, and you can contact the rights owner directly for more information. We do hear concerns sometimes that these notifications are not always seen, so be sure to make sure that you're checking your notifications in your email and in Seller Help, which can be found in the Help and Contact page on most eBay pages. There's a link at the top.
Awesome.
Yeah. So in Seller Help, like I just mentioned, you will see the details of the VeRO report as well as any other policy issues that you may have going on with other listings. We want to quickly help you make those necessary changes to your listings so that we don't have a disruption to your business.
And what would be the best way to make sure you avoid any VeRO issues?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So the best way to avoid the VeRO issues is to always use your own photos and description. A pro tip would be to utilize the images and text that is found in our eBay catalog when you're listing. We also have a page in the Seller Center with a list of brands participating in VeRO so that you can do further research before listing on what is acceptable versus not acceptable.
Thanks for that overview of VeRO, Jen. Next, can you share some of the basics about another topic, which is prohibited and restricted items?
Yeah, absolutely. As it says on our website, you can sell almost any item on eBay, but maintaining the safety of our community is a responsibility that we do take very seriously. What this means is that some categories of products are restricted or completely banned from being sold sometimes. So this helps your buyers stay safe, and we are proactively checking for unsafe and recalled items. If you do ever list a recalled item, we will make sure to notify you. If you have any specific questions about that recalled item, the Consumer Product Safety Commission lists all recalled items on their website, so you can absolutely check that out. And lastly, if ever in doubt, we maintain a list of prohibited and restricted policies on our website as well. These policies spell out the types of items that can or cannot be sold on eBay.
And what happens to a seller found to be selling a restricted item?
Good question. If it is determined that a seller has violated a policy, we will inform them similarly to how we are informing them about VeRO.
Okay.
So we will let them know that we've removed the listing or product from eBay and the why behind the removal and the policy. And if we remove listings for violating these policies, we make sure eBay is a safe place to buy and sell, so that is the why. We know that sometimes this can be confusing, so it is important to note that just because you see something listed on eBay does not mean you're authorized to sell it. So for example, forever stamps and wine are item types that have specific eligibility criteria, and that includes things like an established selling history.
Okay.
So there are also item types such as some medical supplies that require government authorization to sell as well. If you end up having a listing removed because of prohibited or restricted policies, make sure that you find out what the specific rules and conditions are on how you should list it.
Awesome. Anything else you want to add on that topic?
It is possible that the item was listed incorrectly, so check out seller help and look at whatever could be in the listing that just needs to be fixed before you're allowed to relist that item. Please check with customer support or check seller help, like I just mentioned, to ensure that whatever the issue was has been resolved in your revisions.
Great.
If your listing was removed and cannot be relisted, please make sure that you are checking your other active listings proactively to avoid any other policy violations. Too many violations can result in an account restriction.
And that's something we absolutely want to avoid.
Absolutely. We don't want to disrupt your business.
That all makes sense, Jen, and I appreciate you running through it. Any other policy advice for our sellers?
Yes. When in doubt, I recommend sellers familiarize themselves with our selling policies and community guidelines, which are available on our website. We want to avoid, as I've said multiple times, any disruption to your business. If you have questions, you can always reach out to customer support, check seller help, and look at the Seller Center for more information. We've got lots of resources to help, and we are here to partner with you.
Thanks, Jen. I really love how you framed all of that in the context of maintaining trust and safety on eBay, and how you emphasized our goal of avoiding any disruption to a seller's business. Like you said, we are here to help.
Yes.
So to all of our valued sellers that tuned in, I hope you've enjoyed today's discussion and found the overview of eBay selling policies, seller protections, performance, and VeRO really helpful. All of this is designed to help create a fair and safe marketplace for all eBay users. Everything we covered and more can be found on ebay.com. And don't forget to check out the exciting agenda of keynotes and other sessions here at eBay Open. Thanks again, Jen and Mallorie, and thank you, sellers.